Are you getting bored with your bends? You just feel like it's all the same? Well, in today's tutorial, I want to give you some new bending ideas and inspiration of stylings that you can use to make your solos more juicy, because there's not just one way to bend a string. My name is Ulrich. I've been a guitarist for almost 30 years now, and I'm the founder of Total Guitar Transformation, where I have helped hundreds of students to find a more expressive and confident lead guitar voice. So let's get started right away with the regular good old bending. I just want to make sure we're on the same page as far as bending strings go. Very simplified bending rules for you today. First of all, we're gonna start all our whole step bends with our ring fingers. So here, target pitch. Bend up to the root note, the B, yeah? You should be thinking about the interval that you're bending to as well. You want to have a clear target note, yeah? Now on the G string, we always want to bend upward. No exceptions. I don't want to see this. Why? Because there's some specialty bends that we have where we're gonna need the underlying strings. So this is the way to bend the G string, yeah? Then here, starting on the D string, we're gonna bend downward. Also important just to mention, the thumb should always leap over the fretboard here when bending and provide a counter pressure. Because you're gonna need that pressure, yeah? A good exercise to see how stable your bending technique is, exactly what I did here. So you hit the target pitch, and then you glide in and out of it, yeah? Don't forget the bending practice on the low E string. It's actually the most difficult to really hit the pitch perfectly. All right, so this is just a conventional bending technique. Another important thing to mention is that you should always try to support your bend with the other fingers. So the middle finger and the index finger. All right, let's look at some of our specialty bends. Specialty bend number one, the Unison bend. What we do here with the Unison bend is we hit the target note on the next string, especially workable on the G and B string. And then, so we have this. And then we're gonna do it together. That's called the Unison bend. And you hear this friction going into the unison. This is exactly the cool part of the bend. You want to play around with that. You don't want to immediately bend in the perfect unison, but you want to kind of play with that friction, yeah? Let's do this over the backing track, see what it sounds like. Awesome, so maybe you already heard me do the next bend that's an absolute showstopper, and I'm talking about what I call the Hendrix cry. Again, here we have two strings ringing together. You're gonna bend up again here to the fifth, which is a F sharp note here in B. And at the same time, you're gonna hold the A note, the flat 7 here, with the pinky on the B string. So we got these two notes. And then we're gonna bend up the G string. My main tip here is to keep the pinky very flat. And again, use the thumb here to provide the counter pressure. And also here we have some friction going into it, and you should be play around with that friction, yeah? Now there's so many licks that you can do with this bend. Yeah, this would be one of the simplest. You also don't have to play both notes at the same time. You can do stuff like this. You can also do this bend in other positions. You can go here. It does sound like a scream, doesn't it? So that's why I call it the Hendrix cry. All right, let's try this with the backing track. All right, so isn't that pretty awesome? I mean, that Hendrix cry really transforms your solo if you use it well. Great, so next bend, the release bend. On this bend, we're actually gonna go backwards. We're gonna bend up silently and then, like the name says, gonna release the note and it will sound like we're actually bending downwards. All right, let's go. So this is a gold pitch. See, I hit the gold pitch first silently. So that was a little high. So you want to practice hitting the gold pitch without actually playing the note first, yeah? Do you see how elegant that sounds? Let me try this over the backing track. Now this is a more subtle technique, so this might be great for a breakdown section or when you just want to get really intricate with your phrasing. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? So I just showed you 3 different bending approaches that most guitarists don't use frequently. You might know about them, but that doesn't mean that you're really using them. Yeah? So let me actually show you a 4th one. The 4th one is what I call the double bend. So you're bending to one pitch and then you bend up to another pitch and then come back down. So you're basically doing a little scale with just your bendings. Let me try if I can do this. And one thing to keep in mind is that this works best on the G string where you have the least resistance. All right, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, there's so many variations you can do this. You can combine this with slides, you know, that's also very cool. You slide down a note and then do the bend without making another right hand pick. So it can be pretty legato, the whole thing, yeah? This works particularly well on one string, and you can just experiment with some crazy phrasings and bendings. But the crucial thing is that before you do any of those advanced bending techniques, that you get your basic bending locked in, like bulletproof, yeah? Because I keep saying this over and over again, this is like one of the most neglected areas for most guitarists. Is like, you know, we all want to play fast, we all want to play the interesting notes and all that, but to have a solid bending technique, I mean, that can help you sound like a pro in no time if you just focus on your bending technique. In that sense, I'm gonna jam over this track a little more here and keep your bendings in tune, and talk to you soon.